Educators, actually you must know that you are nation builders. You are nation builders. Teachers and educators, they are nation builders, because it is up to you how the country is going to flourish. So see, the thing is how we can transform an innocent child, young child, into a very useful citizen. See, human life is something, a gift from God, and a child under us who comes to us, we have to see that the child is transformed into a fine human being. Not only an academic degree holder, but he has to be a fine human being. That's the most important thing. How useful and how helpful he is to others. That's our philosophy. How can we transform a child to be a very useful and very helping citizen? So wherever the boy or girl, of course, as they become adults, they must be useful to others. That's our vision. So I think in that we could do a lot. We have been instrumental in developing many fine citizens who are doing wonderfully well all over the world. That's one thing. Actually, offering education is not a business; it's a service. It's a divine service. Absolutely. And we have to take it in that sense. And we must develop certain habits in children. That is, the motto of our school is work, win with truth. So we must make them working person, very hardworking people who want to reach virtuous goals. And we believe we make them work well. See, if a student, he has to study well, and as a student, he has to be very responsible to the family, parents, and of course to the society. So we often take children to the society. See, whenever there's a flood or whenever there's a natural calamity, we'll collect children, we'll go to that place and we'll do relief work.
Very good.
And not only that, see, when tsunami came in Kollam district, we were the first people with rescue there. So likewise, wherever there is any calamity, we will take our children there. And the other day, one lady with 2 daughters, she lost her house in monsoon. So I called the children. Come on, we'll go and see. I took the children there. Then I said, we will reconstruct the house. And we reconstructed the house, and they happily see. This is seen. I am involving children. So one KG child who was not taken to that place, upper KG child was asking me, sir, can I also come? So that was a really interested question. Likewise, then we have done a lot of and see patriotism. Our students must be patriotic. See, we made our children to make 3 statues of Mahatma Gandhi. Of course, I didn't collect any money from them. 3 statues are made. One statue is in the junction, Anjal Junction. There it is written, donated by the students of Shabarigiri School. And another 2 statues in 2 schools. So children are also taken to nationalism and patriotism and their love for their motherland. And every Independence Day, every Republic Day, children go there and garland Gandhi there. So public is seeing, small children are teaching the public how to worship our national leader, father of nation, and all those things. So likewise, wherever we do, we want children to learn from our activities as to, and we have even otherwise we have a lot of social activities. Teacher is the heart of the school. Teachers form the heart of the school. So teacher, if the teacher is empowered, teacher empowerment is the main thing in every school, any school. Simply appointing teachers and asking them to go and teach is not the thing. We have to empower them. That is very important. There are many people, many good trainers. We have to get them and we have to give them training. So then naturally they will produce better developing students. Subject wise, not only in bookish knowledge, but in other aspects also, in social service, in arts and all sorts of performance, yoga, everything. We want our children to be best. And our children, see, there was a Hug a Tree program. Students, there was a program by, I think, Asianet, Hugging a Tree by children. It was done in Trivandrum. But our school got a Guinness Prize for that. The maximum number of students who hugged the tree along with governor. So that sort of people, that sort of activities will definitely change the mindset of children. They'll become really patriotic, service-minded citizens in future. So teachers, a teacher has to have, even yesterday I interviewed 35 people for teacher post. See, the first question I asked to every teacher is, see, a teacher has to have many qualities. What is the first quality for a teacher? Naturally, they will say punctuality, subject knowledge, so many things. But finally, I will say the first and foremost quality of a teacher is his or her love and concern for the students sitting before.
Absolutely.
This is what I have to tell the teachers. See, there must be a sort of Atma Bandham, a sort of great bondage between the student and teacher. See, if I am teaching a class, every student sitting in my class must, even if I leave or they leave me, I will have a place in their mind. That sort of a bondage should be there. So the teacher must be loving, must be an embodiment of love and concern. See, my student, he has to become, we do not know what these boys and girls are going to become. They may become so great. So I will add, or I will contribute whatever I can do. So that must be the main tool or quality of a teacher in developing children. The earnestness, the great love and concern for the children. So that much about teaching. So parenting is the most important thing, utmost importance, parent. So actually, children, if I am having a child, it's a gift from God. Absolutely. The child. And it is my bounden duty to see that I nurture, develop the child into a fine human being and contribute to the society. Yeah. That is it. So to that effect, lot of problems are there in parenting, because I often counsel students for various problems of theirs. See, the thing is, when a child is brought up, of course, the mother is the first teacher of the child, first teacher. Parents are the first teachers. And the love and affection the child gets is very, very important. There also, of course, all mothers are all embodiments of love, no doubt. But the thing is, see, most of the mothers and fathers, once when they get an idea, they have an idea how my child has to become, what he has to become. And they want their child to be first in the class, always getting 100 out of 100 in class. This is the wish of the parent. But all children cannot do that. So the thing is, they start scolding, abusing, sometimes comparing with other children. This is a great disadvantage. We should never, my dear parents, I am addressing the parents, please do not accuse your child all the time, abuse your child all the time. Because I have counseled one student recently, a girl from a very affluent family. She will not get up in the morning. She will not take her breakfast. She will not take bath. She will not get ready. She will not go to school. And after a lot of pressure, parents do all these things and they will bring the girl to the school gate. She will not go inside the school. So they brought the child for counseling. I talked to the child. I said, what is wrong with you? You're a very good girl. You're very smart, very active. I like you very much, and things like I developed a sort of rapport with her. Then I asked, what is the problem for you? Why your parents have brought me? The girl started weeping like anything. She said, my mom, she doesn't like me. She's always saying that I am bad. ഇതിനെ ആണല്ലോ ഞാൻ So the child got totally disappointed. Child became totally negative because mother wants the child to be very good. Always in everything she must be first. But the child is, see, for that you have to encourage the child, but they are not encouraging the child. There is no encouragement, no good words, no appreciation. So the child has become totally negative. So then I called the parents first. I said, I think we have to, the counseling is first required for you. And I had to counsel that mother for quite number of times. And now everything is fine. Now she has become very normal. So parenting, the most important thing is how we treat the child. See, some fathers, they beat children. Beating a child is a crime in developed countries like US and all. It's a criminal act. So we can never give physical punishment to children. Not only, more than that, the humiliation, saying bad words, all these things, always, if at all, see, children, they go wrong sometimes. When the child does something wrong, you have to call the child near, hold him close to your body, look into the eyes of the child and tell, Mone, what you have done, is it correct? Is it not bad? You are a good boy, you are my dear boy, you must not do that. Likewise, in a very affectionate manner, we have to counsel. The mother can do that. And Amma is always with you. And she has to make the child agree that he will not repeat the same thing. So that's how we have to correct children. This is not they simply abuse. They say so many things. Maybe they are denied of all the privileges. No television. No, not to go out. All restrictions. So this will make the child negative, and all sorts of character anomalies will come up. So these are the things where. See, children always want encouragement. Whatever small good thing they do, appreciate. Absolutely. That's the only way. Then child is always stimulated. That stimulation is very much required. And the most important thing is not that every child is given a God-gifted talent, a special talent. Sometimes maybe for studying, sometimes maybe for arts, sometimes maybe for sports. So all these things are there. Or one may be very good at drawing, one may be very good in dance. All these things are there. Or maybe one is very good in communication. But these are all not at all given any importance. Boy wants to play cricket. Father will not allow him to go for cricket. That's enough. That's enough for the total degradation of the child's mind. So the thing is, we have to identify the talent of the child. In our school, we have a program, a talent detection program. The teacher is asked to find out what is your talent. What is the talent in each talent in your class? He note it down and see, he has to study. Of course, that is his prime thing. But the talent also is given opportunity, and for you have to develop it. Then naturally, the child will outshine in that area. So that will be a great stimulation for his study also.
Absolutely.
So that sort of a motivation should be there. So whenever a child is, suppose he is a good singer, how many Yeshodas, how many Chitras are dying in childhood itself? Because you are not allowing to sing. They are not teaching them music. If you give him music classes, he will become an excellent musician. So along with the academic studies, whatever talent is found in children, that must be given special encouragement and special training, so that child will have lot of self-respect and self-image and self-confidence. So that's a very important thing. So that's an area where we have to definitely concentrate on what is the gift in my child other than his academic performance. So that should be given some sort of impetus. Then that will definitely create a lot of changes in them. Achievements also will be there.
Absolutely.
If you want to become a chartered accountant, you must be the most wanted, the most sought after chartered accountant. That must be your idea. If you are a doctor, you must be the most sought after doctor. And you will be doing, see, after all, at least some people, many people think that my son will study, get many qualifications, get a big job, get a big salary, make a big house, and buy a big car and live in a very lavish manner. That is not the purpose of life. See, we have to be, boys and girls, we have to be useful to others. Wherever you may be, you must be useful to others.
Absolutely.
and you will be helping others.
Absolutely.
That philosophy has to be given in all educators and all children. You must also think that I want to do something to all my brethren. That is the most important. Very, very important. See, a lot of social work. Social work is very, very important. There definitely, our children must be involved in all sorts of social activities. It's a very, very important thing. So I want to encourage all the boys and girls to become very useful citizens, very, very service-minded people. And we have see, that's why I told you, we always take children to see. We have this time Onam. We went to an orphanage. Children gave lunch to the orphans in the orphanage, and children we collected just like what is it, book cradle, pustakat totil. We ask all children to bring one book to the cradle, and we collect all the books and we take it to an orphanage, and we make a library there where people can read. There are people who can read very well. So once when the student is doing, he thinks that we have to touch the community. That community service is very, very important. That also we have to imbibe. And the students, boys and girls, you must always think that, and they always think that you, of course, your parents are great. You have to have great love and affection. Your parents are everything for you, and it is your bounden duty to see that you take care of your parents and you keep them happy till their last breath. It is a bounden responsibility of every individual to see that their parents. Then of course your family, your siblings, all those things. Then of course the people, the less fortunate people. That's a very, very important thing. See, God has given so many things to us, but there are many people who are not having even food. Such people we have to definitely help and contribute all the time for their well-being also. Agriculture. See, we all live. If there is no agriculture in the world, we'll all be cadavers. So we have to develop some sort of interest in every child in agriculture. How to grow, how to cultivate something. See, we have a program. Our school has a program that is Enikoppam Rendu Maram. That means I will plant 2 trees which will live as long as I live. So likewise, our plan is to plant 1 lakh trees. So something like that. So the greenery of the world is not. For better oxygenation of the world, we want more greenery. Absolutely. So we have to not only for greenery, but even for our see now we cannot have contaminated. We cannot eat contaminated vegetables in this COVID situation. So let us grow our vegetables. Like this, children must be given some interest in growing, in plant growing, and even vegetable cultivation, or even any other. And I always tell them, you plant a tree so that you can always say this is my tree. So that sort of a mindset is to be developed. So agriculture must be given a lot of importance. We have to sacrifice certain things for others. Organ donation, blood donation, cancer care. There are so many areas where we can see. We took our children to cancer regional cancer center Trivandrum, and children brought they collected some fund, and with that fund we took them, and one child who was suffering from cancer very badly wanted money, so they go there and help the child. So they understand, see, in world such dreadful diseases are there, how we can care, we can protect ourselves, at the same time how we can help others. So likewise, so many things can be done. Definitely, whenever children when they after +2, when they leave the school, they sometimes bring autograph to me. The sentence I write is, wherever you may be, let the world be better on account of you. I tell children, you pray for your better study, your health, your parents' health, and maybe all your fortunes. Don't stop your prayer with that. Pray for every suffering person in the world. Pray for, see now COVID is there. All over the world, people are dying, people are all incapacitated. So you pray, let this dreadful pandemic be gone. God. See, that sort of a universal love for humanity must be there. That is something which is very much required for our children. Religious harmony. Very, very important. Because our country is a very secular country and our school is a highly secular school. We give equal importance to all religions, all festivals. See, when there is a what is it? Some Perunal, when it is there. See, our children, they give that iftar. Iftar, they all together do it. They rejoice doing it. So likewise, even it's done in all schools, but it must be done in full faith that every religion is equal. That sort of a philosophy we have to, how to respect other religions. The fanaticism must not be there. That is a very, very important thing. That is an area where we are very, very, very particular. There is no preference for one particular caste or one particular religion. So we are always having a very universal feeling towards others, and this habit we are cultivating in children also. There can't be any religious stigmas with regard to that.